Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name's Tracy. And as always, I'm here with my husband, Noel. He's in the background. Maybe he'll pop in and say hello. Maybe not. He's not taking his cue very well. Good morning. I love discounts. Hello, Southern Charm.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
All right. So, how is everybody? How was the weekend? You guys, I woke up this morning exhausted. Like it was a long weekend. Yesterday was like a long. Good morning. Hello. Yesterday was. I'm trying to read the name. Magnets by Marca. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry if I am. But hello. Good morning. Marika from Canada. How come you didn't handle my? How come you didn't say my handle on my other account? How come I didn't say the handle on the other account? Because I don't like that name. I'm sorry. I love discounts.
I like it. It's hit account. It's hit discounts. That's all there is.
It's-
It's hit discounts.
No, it's not. Wise old bag lady. Hello. Okay, we're just going to talk about it. You like it? I don't know. I guess this is where my, Tracy's going to be a little bit of a prude coming out. I don't think it's a great business name. I think it's funny. I think it's a funny name, and it's a funny username for a buyer account on whatnot. I don't think it's a great name to do business under. That's my perspective. However, I love discounts. I really like that name. Okay, there you go. All right, so we're on the same page then. I'm not insulting you. At least I hope not. Never the goal. All right. We're going to sell a few things. I've got some stuff in the bin. Actually, you guys, everything in the bin and the auction tab is all brand new. That was one of the things I stayed up really late last night. I loaded like 45 or 50 brand new things. So mainly littler things for this show because I try to keep shipping a little bit simpler during the week. But all new stuff in the bin. We have 2 coupon codes today. Or if you combine them together, you combine number 4 and then put number 9 with it. Those 2 together get you $5 off anything today. And that's where we're at. So let's just talk about it. I want to hear all the thoughts. I want to hear what everybody thinks. Like honestly, we're going to talk about the whole Mr. Beast thing yesterday. The Super Bowl, if you saw the Super Bowl, I didn't. I can't talk really about the Super Bowl because I didn't watch not one little bit of it. I couldn't even tell you who won. I just don't really follow sports very much. But I have some thoughts on the Mr. Beast, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. We touched on it on our podcast last night, just a tad bit. If you guys were on the podcast, we kind of brought it up at the very end. We're a little hesitant to go too deep into it for a lot of reasons. I'm going to do a quick giveaway. Giveaways, motivation card, vintage postcard, rewards card today. You're going to get all of it. Good morning, good stuff. All right. So let's I'm going to get this off the screen because this bugs me on the screen. Not a very entertaining show. All right, I love discounts kicking us off. Thank you so much. I'm not a fan. All money ain't good money. Very true. All money's not good money. So let's set the stage here that I have no idea who Mr. Beast was until a week ago. Okay, so it was the Sunday before last, before I even realized who this person even was. So I am not speaking from any way of I'm a fan, I followed this person whatsoever. I have been aware of this person's existence for a week now. So as far as any personal opinion about him, I have none. But about the show, I do have some about the show. One of the things I want to start with is a lot of people, there's been a lot of talk I've heard in various circles on all the other socials that he violated all these terms of service. I can't necessarily argue with that. There was a lot of things going on that I think a lot of other sellers would have either got their hands slapped or been banned for. However, he wasn't here in the capacity of a seller. They used the platform, the pre-existing platform to use it as a promotion. He wasn't here in the essence of a seller like we are. Like he didn't come on to Whatnot and say, oh, I want to be a seller. Let me agree to these terms of service and come on and sell. It was a Whatnot sponsored event. It was Whatnot probably paid him a good chunk of money for his time to show up and do what he did. Probably supplemented a lot of those giveaways, if not all of them. I don't know. I didn't see the contract. I'm just assuming from a business perspective. So the fact that he violated terms of service, I don't think is such a huge deal because he wasn't acting in the capacity of a seller. Now, I didn't see it, but I was told that he sold a bunch of stuff out of the bin. That probably shouldn't have happened if it was a giveaway show. I'm kind of like, what was the purpose of that? So that kind of muddies the waters there. That kind of confuses me a bit. So I would like to see more information on that. But that's the only part, like in my head, I'm kind of like, that kind of muddies my opinion just a little bit there. I'm not too sure. But I don't think, I'm not hooked up on the whole terms of service thing. That just doesn't bother me. The bin wasn't in his show. It was the marketplace. So he had stuff in the marketplace, not during the show. Okay. I'm more looking at it in the sense of what went wrong. What missed opportunities? How could this have been so much better? Is kind of where I'm coming from. Yeah, the shop wasn't even available during the show, completely gone. And I can imagine. Okay, so if you guys weren't in there was like 500,000 people in his show during the giveaways. I don't know if I saw the whole thing. I think I caught most of the giveaways. His target audience is 10 to 20 year olds. Not sure that needs, well, I mean, like the older side of that. And then they have parents. So Trey, I agree. 10 to 18, probably, there's some older teens on here. But those teens bring parents with them. They bring older siblings with them. They bring aunts and uncles and cousins with them. So it's not just the teen. It's what's behind them that they're bringing to Whatnot. And eventually, I mean, those 20-year-olds, they're on their way to college, if not already there. So they are the sports cards, some of the clothing, some of the beauty products. That is the part of the demographic for some of the niches that are on here. I thought there should have been something in the contract that he had to at least learn. Okay, so you right there, I love good discounts. I actually wrote a few notes. I jotted down just a few things of about this show because I really wanted to hit on a few things. And I agree. I have app functions on there. They missed the mark on here. It was purely a giveaway show. It was purely come in here and win some stuff. It was geared towards Givey Goblins and nothing else, which is the exact persona that we want to get away from on Whatnot. Like the whole aspect, that the whole Givey Goblin culture is what gives Whatnot its bad name. So I think all they did was personify the bad part instead of all the good stuff. And that's what really bothered me about it. Let me get back. I'm missing some comments here. Who got that giveaway? Marin Gem, thank you so much for being here. Congratulations on the giveaway.
Congratulations.
Somebody asked a question. Who asked a question? I don't see it. We are talking about Mr. Beast, the Mr. Beast show that was on yesterday on Whatnot, the big Givey Super Bowl hoopla that they've been playing up for over a week now. Let's see what else is people saying. It would have been nice to see some promotion of the actual app. Exactly. Yes. It was a complete promotion for branding Whatnot, in my opinion. Someone else started and pulled the giveaways. I tried to stay till the end, but lost too many brain cells. Yeah, I kind of with you on that one. I can't disagree there. And you made a good point. I love discounts. They missed the mark on showing all the wonderful things about Whatnot. They could have highlighted a show. They could have highlighted the various features, the marketplace, the bin, the auctions. They could have highlighted, the low shipping cost for sellers if they're trying to get sellers in. They could have highlighted the variety of categories for buyers if they wanted to get buyers in. They completely, 100% without a doubt, missed the mark on highlighting all the great and wonderful things about Whatnot. And that's what disappoints me about the whole show. It was all about glorifying Givey Goblins and what can I get for free, which degrades and it's detrimental to the app in general. My opinion only. Nobody else's. That's solely me. I also felt that Oh, it was so unorganized. Oh, you're hit on another point. I mean, we all think the same way here. If Whatnot paid him to get the name out there and all the experts he brought should have been Whatnot sellers, most who are from other sites. Exactly. And the fact that they were only highlighting certain sellers, but then didn't show the app, and it was it was such a missed opportunity. It was done so poorly. The event planning for that was so poor. None of the, like, he didn't know what was going on. He didn't use the right language. Oh, swipe to get in the giveaways. And some of that I could be like, okay, you're not a seller. And we naturally, as sellers, we start to learn the language and the lingo as we move through our journey, right? But even to get some of the basic terminology, there was no education from Whatnot to him. And if there was, he didn't listen, one or the other. So it was either a fault on both sides or a fault on one or the other sides about not educating about the app. And the greed of society just wanting or expecting free stuff. Well, Grammy, and that's what I hit on. The show just glorified the whole givey goblin culture that we have here, which is what is part of that gives Whatnot a bad name. And we don't want a bad name. We're sellers, right? That is who Mr. Beast is, though. He gives huge prizes and money. And I'm not against the fact that they gave stuff away. Because look, I'm doing giveaways today. I'm not against giveaways in general if they work for what you're trying to achieve. And giveaways were a good way to get that 500,000 viewers into the app. Mr. Beast, a recognizable social media content creator, was a good way to get people to the show, into the app. What they didn't do is then miss the mark completely after that fact and didn't do anything to actually help us sellers or the app in general besides bring a bunch of people who wanted free stuff. And that's not what we need. Agreed, it should have been more of a live sellers from the app. Yeah. A false perception of what the app does. Exactly. That's what I feel that it gave. And let's look at this. So let's just take this and take a step back and look at it from the way that we do our shows. Because you know what? Like, I was talking in one of my shows probably last week about how we could take comparison, and we always say comparison, thief of joy, and turn it into how can we use comparison to fuel us, to drive us to learn from, versus use it as a tool in our toolbox instead of something that's bad. I honestly, Silva, I don't know the real reason. I would guess is that the app couldn't test it. First of all, let's think. Half the giveaways you couldn't enter. Too many people were entering them. You couldn't get in. I saw screenshots on some of the other social app where people were waitlisted and couldn't even get into the show to begin with. It wasn't ready. I firmly believe a lot of the glitches we've been seeing over the last few weeks was Whatnot stress testing the app as much as possible to prepare for this. So I think they prepared as much as they could from a technology side. But how in the world are you supposed to simulate 500,000 people in one show if it's never happened before? Like, I'm not a big techie person. I don't know a lot about it. And I know there's ways to stress test and to simulate things that are going to happen. But that's a pretty big ask to simulate 500,000 people in the show at one time, all entering giveaways at the same time for one show, not across the platform. So I don't fault Whatnot, but at the same time, I'm like, they should have, again, educated him. You don't start a givey and end it 2 seconds later, because I can almost guarantee you anybody on an Android phone with their 1 to 3 second lag didn't even have enough time to click the button, let alone click it 10 times because of the errors that we were getting from Whatnot not being able to get into the giveaways. So there was a lot of that kind of stuff, which none of that is new. It's kind of, everybody has been talking about this stuff anyways. I felt like Mr. Beast was aggravated with everything. He didn't seem to like the way I've never watched him. I got the impression he was kind of rude to his staff, which to me says a lot about a person. Again, I've been aware of his existence for a week, so my opinion is not based on much fact as far as this goes, that who he is. But it's kind of like when you go to lunch with somebody and how they treat their wait staff, you can tell what kind of character that person has to some extent. I kind of feel it the same way. If you're treating your staff rudely and bossing them around and telling your cameraman, do this angle, do that angle. Well, did you hire that cameraman because he's an expertise in that? Then trust his expertise, right? This may be just a me thing, but I watch Whatnot very often. I don't know why my battery literally drains so fast watching normal. Oh, I have no idea. Yeah, I didn't hear anything about things like that. Get me a phone that works. Yeah. So that's what I picked. That was just a small glimmer of what I picked up on during the show is if you can't treat people around you with kindness, particularly when you're under the spotlight, right? When you are on a live stream, if you are rude to the people around you, I mean, we all have our days and times with people we work with, our spouses, right? But that's personal. So that comment got you too. So it kind of goes there, but I want to come back to the whole, what can we learn from this? If you've been around my shows, you know I preach a lot about being prepared, setting up, having a show flow, running your shows, what you do before and after. And Lord knows we haven't even heard about the shipping side of this yet. I'm sure all that'll come out in the next couple of weeks. But as we look at this, one, being prepared for your shows. He obviously was not prepared for the Whatnot show, okay? And I know I said earlier he wasn't in the capacity of a seller, but I'm making a comparison and an analogy here. His attitude while sitting in the Ferrari towards his staff regarding the sun in his eyes. Yeah. Heard of him and never saw him before. Wouldn't make me go to his TV channel. Yeah, I'm not going to go check him out after that. Like, I don't care. I'm not his demographic. But one, he wasn't prepared for a show. And what are we all saying today? It was obvious to us, right? As viewers, as supporters, or as people in the room, it was very obvious that he wasn't prepared. So let's take that lesson and apply it to ourselves. As Whatnot people, when you're not prepared for your show, it comes off the same way. Maybe not the same arrogance that he had, but it comes off the same. Your unpreparedness shows through. Thank you, my love. I see the comment. I have a pre-bid. If I leave and win, will you get an invoice? New here. Actually, if you have a pre-bid, let me go over here. I'll go ahead and run them to make sure that you're here while I run them. Wow, there's a lot of pre-bids. Thanks, you guys. I'll run a couple of items. We're going to keep talking. Very unprofessional for all he was paid. Yeah, let's go ahead. I'm just going to sell a couple of things really quick here because I want to make sure I'm touching those pre-bids. But we're going to keep talking. It is my chat and sell show. Let's do this. Let's start at the top of the list really quick. Oh, let's see if I can reach it. All right, we have an Atlas Hazel Milk Glass Strawberry. Get this out of the way. This one's really pretty. I'm sure you guys have seen these before. They've been around for a while. They are the Milk Glass Strawberries. They are Hazel Atlas. This one's in great shape. I think they're so pretty. They are adorable. We run everything here. Shipping is $4. We're going to run it for 10 seconds, 3-second reset. A mark gets it, and that is up and running. I thought Whatnot really missed the mark. Why wasn't the stream multi? Oh, yes, absolutely. The multicast on there. Thank you guys for your bids. I appreciate that. Shalom, that is going to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to do one more item. We'll talk a bit, then we'll come back and do a couple of more. Let's do this little trinket box because I'm just going down the list. That is what's up there. This one is adorable. Look at this little one. It's like almost like a little ring size. I mean, it's a little bit bigger than a ring, but it is nice little size. And it has all the little florals on there. Now, there is some tape on there. You wash that off. A little gooby gone and take that right off. I did put the measurements in the descriptions. And that one is up and running. I think it's a dainty little box. This would be cute to put like a little Valentine's. I don't know if you're going to get it in time. It's the 10th. Probably not. A little Easter gift would be cute. And Michaelam, I'm probably saying your name wrong. I do apologize if I am. Thank you very much for your purchase. You guys, I can't see first purchase. Yes, my love. I can't see first purchases. My iPad is updating, so I don't have anything to look at it. All right, let's see. What am I missing on questions? And we'll get back to selling. I think is a great opportunity for platform growth, though so many people new discovering the app. Hopefully. Let's see. Mr. Orderman had a question. Oh, no. Any Easter egg ornaments? I do have the one Easter egg that's in the bin. It's one of those vintage paper maches. I'll run it in just a few seconds. For the positive side, let's talk a couple good things. For the positive, I saw a lot of comments on other socials this morning claiming they had an extraordinary amount of new buyers. That's wonderful. So this is what we're hoping, that besides all the ways they missed the mark, we're hoping that they're going to bring new people here, right? That we're going to get some new blood coming in, new viewers. They're going to bring their friends, their family. And let's hope. All right, let's do the egg. My husband's over here yelling at me. He's like, run the egg. So we're going to run the egg.
Good morning, Wander Through Life with me.
Okay, I'm going to have to actually get out of my seat. Okay, there we go. All right, so we have the little eggy here. This one's cute. This is one of those vintage paper mache ones. So it has the lamb, and it is, you could tell, it has some wear on it. It's been around, it's old, and it was paper mache. There is a little piece of tape here I did not take off that holds it together. We're going to go ahead and get that going. And that's up and running right now. I've got some really cute little Easter bunny like mugs in the bin too, like little tiny mugs. So like they're like this big if you like Easter stuff. I don't have an egg holder. I need an egg holder. Well, I guess I do have one. Who got that? Marin, thank you so much. That is going to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, there's about, I see some more pre-bids. We will get to them very shortly. So I think at the end of the day, it's more about let's look at how we can use the information to make ourselves better. Because we could sit here and complain all day long. We can list all the ways they didn't do it wonderfully yesterday, which is fine. Acknowledge it, and then we move on. But the best thing to do is to learn from it. How can we apply what we saw to make us and our businesses better? So being prepared for your stream. First of all, I talked last week about having a show flow. So show flow is basically, what are you going to do during your show? From beginning to end of your show. It doesn't have to be like, okay, exactly at 8:02, I'm going to say this. And then at 8:04, I'm going to run this. It doesn't have to be that. But it's a general, like, I'm going to start with the items on this shelf, or, I'm going to welcome everybody to the show. I'm going to chit chat for a little while. I'm going to, Marin, it should, whatever payment method that you had set up in your wallet, it will automatically come out on the back end. Whatnot handles all of that on the back end. Thank you so much, Joe. Good question. And don't feel it's a dumb question. If you are new here, please ask away. If I can't answer it, there are a ton of smart people in the chat that would be happy to help you out also. So knowing what your general flow of your show is. That show yesterday was all over the place. It was, oh, maybe we're going to go do here. Well, let's bring this person out. Oh, no, let's bring that person out. Let's get the goat to poop on people. Like it was craziness. It was chaotic. And we talk about how you like a freeform show.
Good morning, Eye for Beauty.
Hello, Eye for Beauty. So we talk about how chaos and a chaotic feel flows through to the people in your show and how that can hinder buying, right? So being organized, understanding how the app works. That's a big one, particularly for new people or those of us who are trying something new. I've only ever used a little wheel thing once. I'm never going to use it again. I didn't do a mystery game. I tried to use it in a creative way, but I really didn't understand the functionality of it when I was using it. And then realized kind of on the back end, some of the stuff I was like, I don't like the way this all worked out. So those of us either that are just starting out or have some experience understanding the functions of the app, do a private show, test things out before you're there in front of a crowd looking like a fool because you don't know what to do. How many of you have seen brand new people come on without ever, they don't even have something load. They're like, how do I load something? Like, so being prepared in that sense. Yes, my love, did you want to say something? He's leaning over like he's about to lean into the mic and talk. It does drive me crazy. So let's take those lessons and figure out how to do it. The other one, and I love discounts hit on this, we're going to get back to it. I'm going to run something else so I can get the pre-bids. And then we will we'll talk about the other thing, other part of this and what we can learn. All right, we have a Tonala cup. I actually have two of these. We're running one at a time. Tonala.
Good morning, Taco Cat Lady.
Hello, Taco Cat Lady. Tonala, as my husband likes to correct me because I cannot pronounce it in the correct Mexican accent. I really like this one. Look at that. I'm not sure if that's a moth or a butterfly, but it is really, really pretty. This is a great like little tumbler you can use in your bathroom. You can put toothbrushes in it or something. It is Tonala, fully glazed, so you could put water in it. It could hold toothbrushes. And that is up and running. Taco Cat Lady. I love the Tenalo. When we go to Mexico, this is one of my favorite things to pick up and bring back with me. Taco Cat Lady, congratulations. That is heading your way. Thank you so much. We're going to do the next one. This one is so stinking cute. I did put in the description. It has a little tiny chip, but it was too cute to pass up. Look at this. Look at, we got to switch cameras because it's so tiny. Look at how stinking cute. My daughter, my 15-year-old, she like picked this off when I was unpacking the boxes. She came and she grabbed this. I'm like, bring that back. That's for whatnot. Right here on the edge of his ear, you can see this one's all brown and this one's a little white because it is a tiny little chip on the very corner of his ear right there. Kind of hard to see. It is a shaker. It is just one shaker, but it is an absolutely, let me show you the back, adorable figurine. And we're going to get that going. And that's running right now. Thank you for your bids. It is so cute, isn't it? So I went to the antique store this weekend and picked up all kinds of stuff, particularly for these shows. A little bit smaller things. 9 Lives, Maggie, congratulations. Particularly, I was looking for things that would be easier to ship during the week. I tried a first show this morning and my microphone did not work. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Did you just ditch the microphone and go with the phone? So so things like that are one of the things when we talk about, let's have a backup plan, because let me tell you, my husband loves technology and he loves all his gizmos and gadgets, but those gizmos and gadgets don't always work. And we found out, oh, it was your phone. Oh, that's sad because that's hard to like replace on the last minute. We found out very early on in our married business progression here that being married and being in business together takes a lot of patience and kindness and grace and forgiveness. And some of those things we do very well. Sometimes we struggle with those. When we would at the beginning have, yes, you love me, have technical difficulties, I would be mad at him and then he would be mad at me. And so we just very kind of quickly learned, what's our backup plan? If that camera's not working, if this isn't working, what's the backup plan? So we try to have, not that it's always smooth because technical difficulties are like, but that was one of our struggles in the beginning, is because I am not techie. I am very not low maintenance. I won't say that, but like non-techie. I would just be like, can I just use my phone?
Good morning, Kimmy. And yes, the Mossy Penny, it takes a lot of grace and patience. A lot of patience.
But I love you. Okay, we were talking about lessons we could learn. I Love Discounts made a good point. Like, they didn't multicast it anywhere. And this is something that we could take and learn from us. What we're doing on Whatnot, while it's wonderful here, definitely be here. You're building your tribe by being on. There are a lot of tools, a lot of ways to expand your reach, whether you're multicasting to YouTube, you're taking clips of your shows to use on your socials. Now, I don't do that a lot. I'm not a huge social media. I haven't harnessed the power of social media to promote my business as much as I probably could. But we do everything we do is streamed to YouTube. So using what you're doing in multiple ways, that's one of is just efficiency in your business. So that was a huge mismark and something that we can learn from. And I'm sure there's others. If anybody else can think of, some of the ways that we could take what we learned yesterday, just, particularly understanding the functionality. I had my little notes here. What was I talking about? Knowing what was going on. Just knowing, I'm going to ship this to you. This is how the shipping works. So having some basic knowledge of not just what buttons to click, but when you get somebody in the chat, somebody asked earlier, how does the payments come out? They're brand new. I, as a seller, need to be knowledgeable enough to confidently say, this is how it works. Or if somebody asked, how is the shipping calculated? How come it's this price? What happens here? You should know enough to be able to explain that. Nothing like they didn't even know how to run giveaways last night. So wonder if they are shipping via, I doubt they're shipping via USPS. But I don't know, I guess the shipping part doesn't bother me because Whatnot is not solely USPS. They have contracts for specific people, beta testing in different countries that use other carriers. And honestly, if this, for any reason, thank you so much for your purchase from the bin. If this, for any reason, helps Whatnot secure a contract with UPS or FedEx or some other type of shipper, wonderful. That will benefit all of us. That may be, and I didn't even think about it until I saw your comment, that may be a byproduct of this. This may be a way to help encourage better relationships with some of these other shippers. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that. I'm not behind the scenes, but it's a logical assumption that that may happen. I did a big giveaway show yesterday. I for Beauty, you did. Mr. I for Beauty, you gave away 1 ounce of a silver round. Nice. It was for your regulars. Well, see, that's sweet. That's taking care of your people. I love that. That is taking care of your people. You know, the people who won, congratulations to them. Because I'll tell you what, not one of us would be in this chat complaining about anything if we got a 100-inch TV or a Lamborghini or whatever it may have been. We all would have been happy about it. So congratulations to the people who won. Really, like, that's pretty cool. It's exciting to win stuff. I just wanted the cash. Yeah, I would have, if I got any of that stuff, pretty much any of it, I would have sold for the cash. I would have just traded in it. Oh yeah, the taxes on that car. So if you, and I'm sure you guys have heard after the big Oprah thing, the big Oprah years and years ago, Oprah gave the cars, you get a car and you get a car. And that kind of opened the country's eyes to the taxability of free gifts. So on the back end of this, anytime you win something over $600 of value, you will get a 1099 for that item. This is no different than when you go to the casinos and you gamble and you win money. They give you a 1099. Yep, here comes that 1099, which then you report as income. It's income just like income you would earn from a job or income you earn from Whatnot. However, there is no expense that you can take against it. So all of it is taxable. The only time you could take expense against it is in the cases of like gambling, professional gamblers. If professionally gambling, there is such a thing, they're allowed to take certain expenses because that is their profession against their winnings. But whoever won that Lamborghini, whatever the value of that market value of that vehicle is, they will get a 1099 for, I don't know, what's the going price for a Lamborghini? 300,000, 500,000, I don't know.
Depending on the model.
Yeah, that they have to pay taxes on. So let's just figure an average 20% tax bracket. So 20% tax on $500,000, that's a big old tax bill. And that's a check you have to write to the IRS come next April. Technically, they would want it a little bit earlier when you start talking about when you earned it. So the reality of the situations like this is that most of those things get sold in order to get cash to pay the tax bill. Because even if you sell it, you won it at one point, you still have the tax bill. So you end up selling it, you have to pay the tax bill, and then you end up with, a half of the value of the vehicle itself to actually keep for you, which I still want to complain about 200,000. I'd still be happy if somebody just handed me 200,000. My husband's looking at me like, would you? So, all right, let's run something else. Yeah, not a bad problem to have, actually. And that really got me, like, I was really surprised. We'll talk about that in a second. We have this little guy here. Estimated tax, 41, thank you for doing the math for me, 41,580, including the yearly gift exemption. That does not qualify for the gift exemption. So that would not qualify. All right. So, okay, we have this adorable little creamer. Look at this. I love creamers that are like unusual. It's a little blue and white rooster creamer. I mean, it's not really functional. It's decorative, but it's adorable. It was made in China, and he is stinking cute. We're going to run him right now. And that's going. Oh, blue and white creamer. Oh, my husband. You guys, if you could see the back end of our show, he sits over there and he goes, like an air traffic controller. Shalom, y'all. Thank you so much. That's heading to you. He sits over there every time I set an item down in front of me.
On its way to you.
Wait for his graphic. Every time I set an item down, he's over there going like this. And I'm like, and I tell him, I'm like, just put a dot here so I know where to put the item. All right, we have, I know over 600. I know I made over 600 this year, but I never got anything from Whatnot for taxes. You would not have got anything from Whatnot for taxes unless you made over $20,000 and 200 transactions. It's just up to you. Go pull your annual report and use that and match it up against your records for your filing, for your tax filing. Okay, you guys, I just saw a little crack line on this that I did not catch yesterday when I was taking pictures. So I'm going to disclose it to you. And if you pre-bid on this and want to back out, that's totally okay too. You just let me know, and I'm totally okay with that. But we have this guy. Honey, will you switch so I can show him? All right. We have this guy. It is a porcelain trinket box. It is from England. And look at, I did not see that when I was taking photos. So there is a little crack line right there. So bid knowing that that is there. And again, whoever did the pre-bid, if you want to cancel, I'm totally okay with that. It is Staffordshire, England. You can see made in England. It is still absolutely beautiful piece. And we're going to go ahead and run that. But I wanted to make sure we had full disclosure once I saw that crack line in there. So thank you so much for your bids. Shalom, y'all. Thank you so much. That is going to you.
Thank you.
And we'll get to the other couple items in just a few minutes. So I got one and you made 14.5 in sales. I for beauty, yeah. So Whatnot, the 20,000 is when they have to do it. That's when they don't have a choice. It's up to them. If they want to do it for any lesser amount, they're free to do so. It's just at that $20,000 limit is where the IRS says, we're taking your choice away, and now it's a requirement. Oh, are we talking about our show last night with room count? I'm trying to catch up on chat. So yes, okay. If you guys didn't catch our show last night, first of all, where were you? It's not like there was a Super Bowl going on or something. No, seriously, we do a Whatnot show. We do a YouTube show, podcast every Sunday night at 6:30. Myself, Zoe's Treasures, I Love Discounts, which is Tony and Lysandra, and Green 13, Jeremy from Green 13. We get together and we do a podcast every Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. on YouTube. My husband will bring that up for you in a second. There you go. So if you guys aren't subscribed, go subscribe. You could watch our past things, our past shows there. And it is live, so you can come on just like here and ask us questions, and we try to be as responsive as we can to the chat. The really cool thing about this, can you guys hear that in the background? I hear it, okay. Is that we all come from different backgrounds. So Jeremy, Tony, and Lysandra, and myself, we sell in different ways. We come from different backgrounds. So we have varying opinions on what's happening as far as giveaways. Room count is what we talked about last night. We'll touch on that a little bit more today. So any topic, sometimes we agree, but we like last night, we all agree on the value of dollar starts, but we all apply it just a tad bit differently. So it's actually a really cool show. Let's go back up. What did I miss? I did not sell 20, but received one. Yep. I don't think it's because you have an LLC. I think it's because Whatnot just decided to. So we talked about room count. Let's switch topics and let's get off Mr. Beast for a while. What was the name at YouTube? Oh, it's Reselling Roundtable. Room count is what we talked about last night, and it was such a great topic because all of us are like, I want these big, huge rooms, right? Who hasn't? Come on, Whatnot. And at the very beginning of your Whatnot journey, was like, maybe he's gone into Hodgepodge or Upcycle by Bree and see that they get 300 people, and you're like, or gone into House of Coop and see that they have 400 or 500 people, and you're like, I want that many people, right? I felt that way. I mean, I've since changed my mind. Now, I'm not saying it's bad if you have that many people. And one of the things I don't think we touched on a whole lot, but there could be some downside to having that many people. One of the things we talked about is one of the best selling things on Whatnot is the social aspect. Like right now, I can read 9 Lives Maggie's comment. Even if you didn't meet the threshold to get tax from, you still have to claim your sales. 100% Maggie. Yes. Yep, you do. So we could be personable. Yeah, we can interact. We can create trust. We could, have answer questions in real time. So when you have 400 or 500 people, even upwards of 200, it could start to get a little difficult to get that connection. So you lose some of that advantage of live selling when the rooms get too big. Downside, especially if you sell and work alone. Exactly. If you don't, I'm like, I have my husband here. I think I do okay with chat. I don't think I'm a chat expert, but he really helps me out when I miss and stuff. Like he's like, hey, you got a comment, or hey, make sure you're paying attention, because I'll get talking and then chat can zoom on by and I miss something, and it could be a request. It could be an important statement somebody's making, right? So you lose. That's one of the things you lose. But let's think about the other thing that you may lose. And it's, how many of you have been in a room, 200-300 people, and they're doing dollar starts or they're doing low starts? You're like, these are some good deals. But after you see a few items run, you're kind of discouraged because you continually get outbid. Now, I'm not saying you can never win something in a big room, but it feels as if sometimes that you have less of a chance of getting a good price occasionally when you're in a large room. There can be some discouragement in that. And honestly, I don't want discouragement in my room. I want people to feel that for the most part, they have a chance at getting something at a decent price. That doesn't mean, it's nice as a seller, believe me, it is nice to every now and then to have something just kind of blow up in your bids. But if your people never feel that they can get a good deal, how long are they going to stay your people, right? How long are they going to keep coming back? They may come and support you, but are they buying from you at that point? No, they're buying from someone else that they can actually bid and get a good deal because they keep getting outbid in your room. I've only been selling since November. Yesterday, my regular show, a raid came in 95. Congratulations. I lost the personal communication. There you go. But you lost it like instantly, right? But that's a great raid. The hype to bid to win and lose the focus of value of what you're, the hype to bid and then lose the focus of what you're bidding on. Yes. You get just caught up in the excitement. Are you bringing me something? Oh, thank you, my love. Exactly. So, and it went from 95 to 20. So that's the other thing. Shalom, you bring up a really good point. What do we do when we get a raid, right? You have a microscopic amount of time to capture people's attention. First of all, we all have been here, right? You're in a show, you're hanging out with a seller, you're enjoying it, and they're like, okay, we got to end the show, time to go raid. And you're like, okay, swipe out. I'm done, right? My show's over. I'm going to the next show. It's like clicking the next channel on the TV remote, right? We all do that. A lot of sellers will say, hey, please hang out for a second. Let's show this next person a little bit of love. And, it just kind of depends what's happening in your life, right, at that moment, if you're going to stay or not. So already, when people come into your room, there's already a certain percentage of those people that are predisposed just to leave anyways. So we have to really think about that microscopic amount of time. And what are we doing? I'm not of the belief that running a giveaway keeps them in for 5 minutes. A lot of people say, oh, run a giveaway, then gives you 5 minutes to talk about yourself. One, that giveaway better be darn good and better be in line with whatever show they came from. Because if they came from a card show, I had somebody from a card show right into me the other day into a vintage decor show. I don't sell sports cards. Was the card people interested in vintage decor? Was there any giveaway that I was going to run that was really going to be interesting to a card people? Maybe one or two, but what are the odds there? So whatever your giveaway is, if you're doing that, has to be really something that what that group of people would want, first of all. And then the chances of them sticking around for 5 minutes are pretty slim. So and I'm not saying that you shouldn't do a giveaway or, do it or not. Maybe running something for $1, trying to get them hooked, trying to show them who you really are. If you're running something for $1, at least there's some action happening, which will get attention a little bit more. And the fact that now they can get something at a deal and you can also have the possibility of making money. Always run a banger. There you go, have something ready. So it's just being prepared. Again, it's being prepared. What would you have done if, and they didn't let Mr. Beast raid him, but my gosh, what would we have done if you got a raid of 500,000 people? I would have lost my mind. I think I would have been like speechless and I think that would have shattered any composure I may have had. Twerk for tips. Hey, with 500,000 people, you may have been able to retire if you start twerking for tips. It almost feels like people are buying at inflated prices for the big sellers just to get, thank you for your purchase from the bin, just to get their name mentioned or curry a favor at the big seller. And they do. Nine Lives Maggie, they do. This is why some of the big sellers have the sponsored giveaways. It's to get your name mentioned. That's a whole nother topic on whether you believe in that and if it works or not. But I don't want this to be never go to a big seller's room, because you could still go to a big seller's room and you could still get great deals. I'm not against the big sellers. There's just pros and cons to both. There's pros and cons to having 10 people, and there's pros and cons to having 500 people. Okay, my husband's reminding me of pre-bids. Let's go ahead and do these really quick, and then we'll talk more. We have a black and white creamer. I love this. I love black and white. Look at this. Oh, he's...
Forgotten memories.
You would start running around and selling. Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, here's my husband. Here's my kid. You want my dog? Forgotten memories. The servers they couldn't. Yeah. All right. We have this little black and white creamer. This guy's cute. He's chunky. That's a nice thick creamer, unmarked, great condition. I love the coloring on it. And that is running right now, up and going. You're listening to last night's YouTube right now. Very interesting about the scan shows. Oh, we could talk about scan shows. Thank you for your bids. Hey, Monster Mama, thank you so much. That is heading to you. Let's do this other item here, and then we only have one thing left after that. All right. These are so cool. I am always fascinated by these little eye wash things. Like, has anybody actually ever used this? I want to know. Has anybody washed their eye out with something like this? It does not look comfortable to me. It just looks very weird. Can you tell me how clips work? I have random clips in my account of almost all shows I watch. That is a good question, and I am going to show you how unprepared I am for that question.
So what you can do is those clips, you can share them with the rest of the app, and it's just to show either funny moments or memorable moments. You can have in public, or you can keep in private. The clips also, if you take a clip, you can download it almost, it has to be immediately, and it can go into your phone. After that, the clip just stays on your account, and you can go ahead and delete them or keep them.
But you have to manually push clip, don't you? You have to manually
Yes,
clip
you can. You have to select the clip, and I believe it's about 10 seconds before you hit it, and it lasts about 60 seconds, and after that, there's a Whatnot promotion.
All right. Okay, this little eyeglass antique eye wash cup, that's what it's a cup, is up and running if you are interested.
You can view your clips on your account. If you hit your account, your username, and when you go through your profile, you'll see that it says clips.
The Bird Theory, thank you so much. That is heading to you.
Thank you.
All right, what did I miss? Here, I see my chat's going. I would like to do clips. I want Whatnot picks for me. Clips you want and not what Whatnot picks for you. I don't know if Whatnot does it for you, but you know what? That is weird, because I've noticed that there's a few clips in mine, but that was probably me accidentally pressing a button, honestly. I could totally see myself just accidentally doing something. Can you view other people's clips?
You can view other people's clips if they share them, if they make them available and not keep them on private. Some people decide they want to make it private, and I have a few of them. Usually what I do is, if I'm trying to get some content for different things, I love discounts. They're my favorite people to clip. So when you hit the clip, it'll run for about 60 seconds.
And here you go. I'm going to show you. Somebody says, where's the button? This is CG Boomerang Echo. Thank you for your purchase from the bin. And there is a little clip
Hold on
button.
1 second.
There is a clip button right there. Oh, mirror it?
Mhm.
You're going to show how this works?
Hold on,
Okay.
yes. We're going to show you, let's see if we can.
And where do
Put
I
it
mirror
over
to,
here.
my love?
Studio.
Oh, there it is. Let's see if we can hear her too.
I stopped. Move the. There you go. All right, here it is.
There you go. I can't hear if she's saying, so if she mentions my name, somebody I don't know, We will have to say hi. But right here on the side, there should be a clip button. There is on my phone. How come it's not here now?
It is there.
Where is it?
Do on mirror.
On mirror?
No, you have to mirror again.
It's okay. We're not going to mirror it again. On the side, where those icons are, it should be there. But like, just look on the side of your screen. Okay, there, you got it. Okay, perfect. Good. All right, it was there. I just didn't see it the way it was showing for me. So that's how you clip. I've never really used those. It sounds like my husband has, but again, he's the techie one, not me. All right, what were we were about to talk about something, and I totally we got all rabbit trail, but that's okay.
And
Oh, I know.
just so you know, let me show you real quick. So right there, I'm on my profile. If I hit my account and then I go view profile, where you see clips, that's where you are going to be able to see all your clips. And these are private. As you can see, they have a little lock button on the top. So if I decide that I can make them public and everybody can see them.
So we were going to talk about those scan shows. Somebody mentioned that they were rewatching our YouTube last night, and we talked about scan shows. There was not a clip of you. Was it? Did you clip I for Beauty?
No, I for Beauty. I don't have a clip for you.
I think that was Tony and Lysandra. So scan shows. Oh, Forgotten Memory says that those clips are great for social media. That would be an awesome use for it, and a lot easier than having to go back in and like download like a screen, like if you screen record your shows and
Absolutely
manipulate it.
Forgotten Memories. That's one of the reasons why I do it.
Who here does scan shows? Because I don't want to offend people, so I need to know if I have scan show people in my crowd. All right, so Grammy does a scan show. So good. If you guys do scan shows, I would love to hear opposite opinions. So it's okay to disagree with me. If anything I say, please put it in there. We want both sides of the coin here. So a scan show, you will see some people will take their phone while they're selling. Let me get out of CG's room. They'll take their phone and they have their items here. And they're like, okay, everybody, hey, this is what I have for sale today. But you won't offend. Let's learn. I'm trying not to offend. But they go this way and they're like, hey, tell me what you want me to run. Do you want me to run this? I have this item. They'll pick it up. They'll explain it. And they scan the room. So usually they have shelves set up or tables set up and they're scanning. It's typically, not always, it depends on how the seller runs the show. It's not a run. It's more of a let me just show you what I have and you tell me what you want. So it's almost as if they're walking you through their store, right? They're walking you through their products. They're not my favorite kind of show, honestly. I don't do them. I'm not set up for them. It's good. The closest thing I'm coming to a scan show is I'm doing a styled collection show where I have a room that is decorated and we are selling everything in the room. That's the closest I'm coming to a scan show, but I will be running things consistently.
Or some people use them for preview on different shows.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there is a place and time for the scan shows, but you have to be very careful because the phone shakes a lot and you can make a lot of people dizzy. And that's not something that most people enjoy.
There is a general consensus, and you can kind of see in the chat, a lot of people are kind of like, I don't like them. I don't like those kind of shows. Here, my thoughts on this is it's not an efficient use of your time. If you're going to take the time to set your items up, to be live, run them. You can have them lined up on a table and say, okay, first up, we have this figurine. I'm going to run it. And while you're talking about it, have it running for 30 seconds and then move to the next time and run it. Just asking people what they want, you're missing out on sales. Because there's a lot of people who are, they're having Whatnot on mute, so they don't hear you saying, show me what you want. And time is valuable. And I'm not going to waste my time window shopping with you. I'm going to show you things with the opportunity of you being able to buy them. Like right then. If you're not running something, they can't buy from you. They can only buy if they could swipe at the bottom of that screen or click buy it now in your bin.
Or exactly, you can get way too many requests and then you're in trouble, especially if you're running by yourself.
Yeah, and Coastal Peacock, FOMO and impulse buying. You're not going to get FOMO and impulse buying by asking them what they want, because then they can exhibit more self-control. Because if I'm in a scan show, if a scan show can even keep my attention for more than 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, that's cute. I don't need it. I don't need it. But if I'm in a show where I have 15 seconds and I want that and I'm about to miss out, there goes swipe, done. I bought it. I don't have time to contemplate in my mind and talk myself out of a purchase. So, I mean, that's a really good point there. You will make more sales by just running stuff. I've asked, hold on, Forgotten Memory says, I've asked if anyone's interested, no one says anything, and then run it, and 4 people bid. Exactly, because people are shy. You know, look it, we are creating a whole generation of people who only like live through their phones, and we have a whole group of people who don't know how to interact socially, and that even means asking for things.
Dawn, that's very true. I've seen a lot of different rooms where people make a request, other people stop bidding because their request was made.
Very good point. Exactly. And then you as a seller have to constantly combat that. Just because Sally asked for it doesn't mean it's, you can't bid. It's open for bidding, I know it's just not my style of selling. Now, if you do it and you found success with it, wonderful. Like, it's just not for me. And there's people who like those shows, who love scan shows. So again, design your business strategy and what works for you, knowing whatever you do is not going to appeal to everybody. What I do doesn't appeal to everybody, and that's okay. Daisy Lane says, scans take control of the show, retards bids, and leaves you with leftovers. Exactly. And I love that point too. You should always be in control of your show. I'm not too sure how you could be in charge of a scan show. I mean, maybe if I really sat through and thought about it, but it would take a really strong, confident personality to be in charge of a scan show, because you're at the whim, you're at the mercy of the people asking for stuff. The great thing about the app is that there is a show for everybody, and that is the wonderful thing about Whatnot. I feel you're getting bossed around by the buyers. Yep. We have tinkered with putting 4 items up and buyer's choice. So buyer's choice could be a really effective sales measure if done properly. Let me read this question. We'll get back to buyer's choice. Sometimes an item looks bigger than it is, or the color is off in the pictures, and they just want to see an item up close, but someone else bids. Correct. Yeah. That's why a lot of times, so 2 things. Let's talk about items choice and then taking request. So for when you're doing choice on items, that could actually be a tool and a technique to increase the price that you're going to get for those items. Because if I put 4 things out and I have a room of 10 people, it doesn't even take a lot. There could be 4 people in the room and they each want something different. But, if I'm watching it, I don't know that Bobby Joe over here, user Bobby Joe wants, the same item I do. I don't know which one of those 4. So I'm looking at one particular item and I'm bidding on one thing that I really want in that choice. And somebody else may be bidding on another, but we're outbidding each other and it's going up and up and up. So the concept of doing a choice is an excellent way to increase bids. You've got to watch on how frequently you're doing it, like switching the items out and not overwhelming with choice. 3 to 5 is probably a sweet spot on choice. You get too many, it gets too overwhelming. So you want to create some of that FOMO by limiting the amount of items they can choose from. When you have a whole table full of stuff, it's like, you have a whole table. It's like, okay, well, there's not an urgency to bid. I'll just get it next time they run it. So you need to create that urgency too, that FOMO that you're talking about. Yes, and if no one bids, clear it. Obviously, nobody wants those items, 100%. I scan at the very end of my shows, scanning the leftovers and sell a bunch. That's a way to use scan effectively. It's kind of like, hey, you guys, here's everything I didn't sell. We're going to mark it all down, take $2 off any of these items, or would you like them? Now, instead of scanning, I would probably bundle. If something didn't sell, I would take 2 or 3 items, or throughout the show, if something didn't sell, add it to another item.
You can always use flash sales too.
Yeah. Sometimes items look bigger. Oh, okay. I wanted to talk about taking requests. That comment made me think about that. Good morning. Do you preload all your items? I only preload your WOW items. Oh, the fancy ones, and preload categories so they get in. I only preload personally. I only preload for my Monday and Wednesday shows and my reverse auction. Other than that, let me say an occasional raid train. I'll talk about the raid trains. Other than that, I don't preload my normal vintage show on Saturday, like my anchor vintage show. I don't preload.
Absolutely, Afro Beauty.
FOMO can create buyer's remorse. It can, but it also can create higher bid prices and
Correct.
get people to buy stuff. So it again, there is two sides to every single coin that we're going to talk about. A reverse auction, sure, they're pretty cool actually. So in normal auctions, we start at a set price, 1, 5, 10, whatever, right? And then people bid it up. Well, at a reverse auction, we start with a higher dollar. So I'll have something, say this is a gorgeous antique. Thank you so much for your tip. I appreciate that. That is so nice of you. Bill Y, the oddity guy. So imagine this is a gorgeous antique. And I would say, okay, you guys, I'm going to start this at $80, or I'm going to start at 80. I will then count down. When I hit a number that the chat feels that they want to start bidding at, they put an R in the chat, and that's where it starts. So I'll say 80, and I give people a chance to put an R if they're willing to start it at 80. CG Boomerang Echoes rating with a party of 40.
Welcome in, Raiders! Grab your hats and step into Zoe's Treasures, where the relics aren't cursed. They are for sale.
Thank you, CG. We'll bring up your profile in a minute. Y'all, if you don't know CG Boomerang, she is the queen of raid trains. And besides which, she also does a morning show in her bathrobe every week, every day of the week. She sells stuff and she chats to you about some really cool stuff. They want to hear about the podcast. All right. So let me tell you about the podcast, then we'll take a quick look at CG's profile to say thank you. So we do a podcast every Sunday night. Myself, Zoe's Treasures. I Love Discounts, which is Lysandra and Tony. There it is right there. And Jeremy from Green 13. Every Sunday on YouTube at 6:30 p.m. It's already there. You can subscribe. You can watch past episodes. And we all come together and we debate hot reselling topics. So we all have different backgrounds and different perspectives and different ways of doing things, different size businesses, different journeys through Whatnot and through other platforms. And this is what we debate and talk about. So come see us every Sunday night at 6:30. Yes, please check it out. We are starting to grow it. We've done 3 episodes so far. We've got a really good group going already, and we would love to have you come and hang out with us. It is live, so you can ask questions just like you do here in the chat, and we'll respond to your questions live.
Erica, how do we add what exactly? Can you be more descriptive? And CG, thank you very much. Here we go.
You guys, here is CG's. If you do not know, if you came from her show, you know exactly who she is. If you did not come from her show, you are missing out. Definitely check her out.
Rainey's Rec Room, yes, they are saved on YouTube, also on Amazon Music, Spotify, and there's one more, and I keep forgetting, Apple Podcast.
And if we scroll down, let's check out when CG's next show is. So not only does she sell stuff, bring you really cool advice, she is also runs a million raid trains and does raid train specific talk shows. Great person to check out. Thank you so much, CG, for bringing everybody over. Forgotten Memories, thank you so much. So Forgotten Memories is also reminding people, while you're over there checking out Reselling Roundtable, you can also check out Zoe's Treasures on YouTube. All of my shows are multicast to YouTube and saved there, including all of my business and tax talk shows. So if you've never been to one of my business and tax talk shows, we do those every Friday morning at 7 a.m. Yeah, might as well. Thank you so much, Forgotten Memories. We do those every Friday morning at 7 a.m. It is called the Live Seller Collection. So we actually have books that go with it. Books are not required. You do not need to buy them, but we do sell books and PDFs that go with it. Every week, I talk about a business topic, and we have the outline topics here, and I talk about a tax topic. They're outlined there. And we spend 2 hours doing that, and I take questions. And then we... if you have the book or the PDF, you also then get a page of reflection questions. This whole goal of this is to go from thinking like a reseller to thinking like the CEO of your business. So that is quarter two. So we have a new book every quarter. And the new books just came out, and they're going to be for sale this Friday in a bundle.
Bill, we multicast to YouTube. For some other reason, we can do Facebook. My wife
I got kicked off Facebook, y'all. I was bad. They kicked me off.
She was bad. No, she wasn't bad. It was just a mistake. But yes, it's not a W-2. It's a 1099.
Well, I rent out my technical man. I'm sure that's against the law in some states, but maybe we could talk about that.
And Erica, to answer your question, that is the wizard behind the curtain, and that's hold on one second. Let me see if I can pull that out here.
And we have a question from Sandra Tid.
That's me.
There he is.
Good morning, everybody.
That's the love of my life right there.
That's the wizard behind the curtain.
And Sandra, for your W-2, so Whatnot will not give you a W-2. They will give you a 1099. So if you made $20,000 in sales and 200 transactions and used Stripe last year, you can go through your Stripe account and get your 1099. If not, don't worry about it. You should have kept records and go ahead and report all of your income anyways. If you did not keep records, you can go into the finance section of your Seller Hub and pull down an annual report, and that will give you your figures from Whatnot. When you go live, yes, we talked about streaming on the other things. What am I missing? All past episodes on my shows and Reselling Roundtable are all on YouTube. So that was going up. We're talking about, let's see, Daisy Lane was saying that she just started preloading. So, okay, so Daisy said, I just started preloading, makes the show run smoothly and creates data on what sells well and what I should pass on. I love that, Daisy Lane. I think another thing that makes preloading like somewhat worth it when you're doing it is the ease on the back end of shipping. You get your little picture, you get your description. There's no guesswork. There's no, did the number fall off? Am I sending them the right item? It makes the shipping side so much easier and just takes out any anxiety that I may have that I messed up. Helps. It's a control feature to prevent mistakes. There we go. And the weight is all there also if you're loading in with the proper weights. Do you only do niche shows or sell a little bit of everything in your shows? I mainly do niche shows, so I do vintage decor, and then I also do jewelry. So I specialize in 925 jewelry. That's a new niche for us this year. We're just getting into that. But my vintage decor, I specialize, I don't want to say specialize in a different niche. I bring a different design aesthetic every week. So we do a warm embrace show. We'll do an elegant show. We do a reverse auction. We do a mixed vintage. So every Saturday, while it's vintage decor, it's curated into a specific theme. You have to do what works for you and be prepared to pivot and change when you need to. 100%, Grammy. Can purchases on Whatnot be considered deductibles on Whatnot income? If you're purchasing to resell, yes. If you're reselling the item, it becomes part of your inventory, and then when sold, becomes part of your expenses. So 100% they can. All right. I think we were talking about scan shows. I don't know if we've finished that. Oh, I need to do another. I haven't done any giveaways, have I? One or two. All right, let's do another giveaway. We are doing a, for the giveaways, it is a vintage postcard, a motivation card, and one of our rewards cards. Hey, if you guys are new to us, let me explain something that we do here that's a little bit different than some of the other sellers. So we have what we call Zoe's Treasures rewards cards. We have 9 cards a quarter. So right now we have 9 because we're in quarter 1. And every time you buy something or win a giveaway, you get one of our rewards cards. Each card is numbered 1 through 9. On the back, there's a four-digit or letter code. And that code is worth $2. So this card itself is $2 free for any future show. Every single show, like today, you can go in the notes and you will see cards number 4 and 9. I don't have 4 and 9. Here we go. So if you put the codes for 4 and 9 together, it's this way. It's always backwards on camera. If you put those codes together, if you're lucky enough to have both of these, then you get $5 off anything for this show. Every show has a different combination of codes. So you've got to come to the show and see. There's always a chance that you can get $5 free of something. We start everything at $1. So $5 off could get you something pretty much for free.
Or more. Because
Yes.
these cards are for you to keep, and throughout the years, the discounts will grow.
Yeah, so over the year, so come second quarter, we'll have the next 9. And in the second quarter, I will have a 3-digit code good for the whole quarter, or 3 cards. That'll give you $10 or $15 off. So The more cards you have, the bigger the discounts that will be offered as we move along through the year. That is my reward system. Thank you so much. I would love to take full credit for this. I have to own up. This was really my husband's idea. We were brainstorming, how can we do rewards? I have nothing against the Whatnot rewards. I used to do them almost all of last year. But as we moved from doing just vintage and adding on, he did do a good job with that, didn't he? As we added on jewelry, I needed something that would work across the board for both business lines for me. And the Whatnot rewards wasn't cutting it for me in what I wanted. So my husband and I brainstormed, and he came up with this idea. And this is what we're trying out for the year. We'll see how it works this year. So far, I've got to say, people are using the coupons. I'm seeing them because at the end of the day, they're coupon codes. But coupons are free money. So I am seeing use of them. And so far, they are, I think, well received, and people are saving money. So can't ask for much more than that. What settings do we need to have to not pay $4 to $5 on Givey shipping? I tried a few things, but still struggling with that. Okay, so first of all, in your settings, you need to go and set up plain white envelope. So in your shipping settings, like your
But it has to fit in an envelope. It has
I'll
to
talk
be
about that.
flexible.
Yes. So the setting side of it, in your seller hub, in your account settings, you have to set up for the 0 to 1, the plain white shipping option. It's the very first option at the top of the screen. Then in every single show, when you're setting up your show, there's a little section on shipping. Open up that shipping, make sure it says plain white envelope. Okay, that's step 2. Then on your item has to be in the card. When you're listing your giveaway, you have to put it in the card sticker category. There's one other category. Just stick with stickers. It's easier. Sticker category, and then make sure it's 0 to 1 ounces your weight. That should get you your 78 cents. Now, ironically enough, I do plain white envelope giveaways all the time. My show last Friday, I am 100% certain that I set it up properly. I've been doing this for months now. For some reason, every single giveaway, all like 20 of them that I did, they charged me $4 and something cents. I'm still going back and forth with Whatnot, trying to work that out. So sometimes it glitches. Do you buy promotions from Whatnot? I do not. Bill White, the oddity guy, I do not. I don't believe in buying promotions. I don't think they're worth it. I have never seen, now keep in mind, I'm an accountant, a CPA. I like data. I like to know the ROI on my investment, what I'm getting for my money. I have never seen any definitive. Did you too, Shalom? You got charged? I wonder if there's a Whatnot thing. They're kind of blowing me off right now. I'm not getting a good response, but I'm going to keep going because I know I set it up right. So I have never seen a return on that. I've never seen any data. I honestly feel that it's actually counterproductive. For somebody who doesn't know me, for me to go into somebody's room and they don't know me, and for them to shout it out, why should their followers believe that, like, come and see me? Like, just because I paid $5, like, I'm telling you, here, I'm going to give you $5, I'm going to pay $10, $15 for you to say my name so people will come and see me. Trish, congratulations, you got that giveaway.
Congratulations.
I don't see how that's effective. So I don't do it. Now, a full disclosure, I was on the other side of that. For a while, I actually sold sponsored giveaways in my talk shows. And I quit. And the reason I quit doing that is kind of along the same concept. If I call you out, if I say your name and I say, go see this person, it's because I have a personal experience with you in some way. It's because I believe in either what you sell or who you are, or you in general as a seller. You could be darn sure and guaranteed if I ever call somebody out, it's because I believe in that person. And it is a personal recommendation. When I was selling the sponsored giveaways, I didn't know some of the people. And sometimes I would pull up their profile and I'm like, I just don't jive with that. Like, I can't endorse this. But they paid me, so I had to. And then I felt fake. So that's why I quit doing them. Last week, and no, I said it. So a lot of you guys are having the same thing with shipping. Me too. I'm going to start taking screenshots of my settings. CLB, my husband just recommended that. And actually for this show this morning, I did take a little video of my settings just in case it happens again. And that's what happened is that I got charged. So I messaged Whatnot. I'm like, hey, this isn't correct. I know I set this up right. And I got a response saying, well, you've got to set it up. If you do a series of shows, all the series will set up the same way. Like when you go like do multiple shows at the same time. So that's the only way to ensure multiple shows do this, blah, blah, blah. And I replied back, I'm like, this was a series. Like I said, I don't never do just one show unless it's a raid train. I do 10 at a time. And the first one before it and the ones after it are all right. So I've asked for a screenshot of the settings from them because once the show is over, you can't see your settings anymore. I have no way of proving it now as a seller. So I have asked Whatnot to provide me a screenshot. I have yet to see that, but it was Saturday and they were a little preoccupied yesterday. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a glitch. I think Whatnot's been a little glitchy because they've been stress testing the system. There is no way that they did that show without doing some stress testing to Whatnot in some way, shape, or form. And white envelope and not being charged. So yeah, exactly. They didn't give me 14 shipping. That's odd. Hold on, what are you saying? Well, that's odd. They didn't give me but 2 pushbacks on. They did, and so I Love Discounts. They never reimbursed you for it. It was never. They did. Okay. They were a little preoccupied yesterday, weren't they? Where do you find the best way to build networking with other sellers? Just like what you're doing now, Crossin, exactly what you're doing now. So networking with other sellers, go into other people's rooms. Now you're going to hear two trains of thought. One is don't waste your time going in other people's rooms. You're better off running your shows. And I think it's a combination of the both. I don't think it's one or the other. One, run as many shows that you can realistically do and ship and have inventory for, because the more you're on, the more people will find you. So that's number one. The other side of this is a social app. I saw a drastic difference when my husband joined my team. When I first started this, it was just me. Took quite a few months in, and my husband's like, "Hey, this is cool. Let's do this together." And he is far more social than I am. So at the beginning, I was in people's rooms, but I didn't talk a lot. I was just kind of lurking in the background, right? I was learning, watching. He comes on and he's just like Mr. Social Butterfly in everybody's rooms. And I have seen a huge difference in people coming to our rooms because of his social interaction. I've had to watch shipping charges, some small items, 25 plus, my goodness. And Melinda says, being in shows, chatting, interacting, yes, with others has been so helpful for me absolutely. This is how you make connections. This is how you meet people. And don't just go in your category. Go in other categories. Go make friends with other people. My husband is friends with a lot of people who sell the Star Wars. And what's his name? Rhino? I don't know his full name.
Rhino Sith Lord.
Yeah, he came in the other day and bought some stuff in a vintage decor show. And he's from a Star Wars category. So don't just stick in your category. Get around, walk around and whatnot. We have been debating free shipping. Oh, what do you think are the pros and cons? I know you do it and many others too. This is such a great topic. And I Love Discounts. If you're in here too, please put your thoughts in. So I did free shipping for about 6 months. Dungeons and Dragons, and I said, there you go. See, we've got all kinds of different people in here. I did free shipping for about 6 months on vintage decor. So all different size items, ironstone, little things. Let's see who's getting this giveaway, then I'll keep talking. Abel's Treasures, congratulations, you're getting that giveaway. I have 2 more. We're gonna run each one of these and then I'll have to raid. So all different size things, not just like tiny little things, not just plain white envelope. Free shipping drastically changed the projection of my business. Now, I did free shipping and dollar starts, not at the beginning. For about a month, I did free shipping and I played around with my pricing. I didn't like it. I'm a firm believer in dollar starts. So after about a month, I went to free shipping and dollar starts. One, every single item sells out. So be prepared to have sellout shows every single show. So if you're going to show 100 items and you're doing free shipping, almost everything's going to sell. So make sure that you're prepared to ship all of that. I Love Discount says 1 item per, yes. And so you'll get more people in your room. It increases bid pricing because if they're not paying for shipping, they can pay more for bidding. And it translates, it really does. However, I Love Discounts just hit on the one item that is the hardest thing to get over with free shipping. When you do reduced or even full price, when somebody has to pay for that box, as a buyer, my mind says, I have just bought this box and all I've put in this box, I have this big old box, and all I've put in this box is this one little item. I can fill that box up. I've already paid for the box. I got all this space to fill up. And you see free across the bottom of your screen after, or you see the price going down for shipping. That drives people to buy more. So the idea of filling a box that you paid for drives people to buy more things. That goes out the window with free shipping. If you do free shipping, you are going to see a drastic increase of one-time purchases, which is okay if it's a $80 item and you pay $10 to ship it. But when it's a $5 item that you pay $10 to ship, it hurts. Make sure to know your numbers well. Yeah, that's the other thing. Thank you. I love discounts. So you have to be prepared and figure out how to combat that one item purchase. I never could figure it out. I tried every way under the sun to figure out how to combat that one purchase thing, and finally just accepted it as part of the free shipping, conundrum. That's what happens with free shipping. The other side of it, like I Love Discount says, know your numbers first. Don't just go into it blindly. Do some full price shows, do some reduced shipping shows, and go back and look at your numbers. Now, you guys remember, when you're looking at shipping, there's two places to look at. It's not just in one place. The shipping you're charged in real time during the show shows up on your shipping screen. That's when somebody swipes, and if you have shipping set up in any way that you're paying any portion of that in real time, that's what shows up on your shipping screen. When you're shipping and you change your box size and the weight, and it asks you, this is, it makes you confirm, hey, this is going to cost you an extra $4, and you hit okay, those charges go to your ledger, not on that shipping screen. So when you're going back and looking at past shows, make sure you're looking at both places and adding it together, or you're going to get really skewed numbers. And that's something a lot of people don't realize. They think they pull it up on the shipping screen and that's it, but it isn't it. Anything else? I Love Discounts that I missed on free shipping?
And yes, if it's free shipping, the seller pays the shipping.
The seller pays for it. And the other thing with free shipping is when we do free shipping, I know I Love Discounts and myself and Green 13, all your weights are 1 ounce. Everything is set at 1 ounce. Why? Because when that person buys it, when they swipe in real time, you're charged for that 1 ounce. Then on the back end, when the order is packed and weighed, we change it to the correct weight and dimension so that we're paying exactly what the shipping is. I'm not putting in at a pound, and then my buyer buys 5 things and it's 5 pounds, but then when I put it all together, it's really like, less than 5 pounds or whatever it is. So always go 1 ounce, and then you change it on the back end. Always change it on the back end. Let's see. I wish we could weigh our items more accurately. I'd love to do free shipping for my postcards, but they're only able to at 1. And I wouldn't do any more than 1 ounce. You change it on the back end. Being in the vintage category, do you feel the benefit from max shipping? 100%. 100%. Put yourself in the buyer. Look at it from you're being the buyer. If you have 2 shows in the vintage category, both of them are selling something popular. Both are Butter Pat shows, right? Everybody loves Butter Pats, okay? One of them has reduced shipping. Max shipping, reduced, it's the same thing. The other one is buyer pays all, and they're selling the same thing. Where are you going to go, right? The Moss Penny, congratulations, you got that giveaway.
Congratulations.
If you don't want to commit to free shipping, and I'm going to be honest with you, I pulled back on free shipping from vintage. I do it on jewelry now. Once I introduced my jewelry line, I rethought my whole business strategy, and I do $4.50 on vintage, and I do free on jewelry. But any savings that a buyer can see lowers that barrier to them buying. So I recommend reduced. Free if you're willing to take that risk. I still think free is good, if you can. Yeah. Do you have to make a lot of shipping adjustments? I do. I make a ton of shipping adjustments. My 5 are gone before I even know they're gone. Like I don't even realize they're there. They're gone so fast. I change a lot, and even in my $4.50. So now I do $4.50 max. Everything is 8 to 11 ounces. Unless it's obviously a lot lighter, I'll mark it down lighter. Like, I know I put this egg was not in at 8 to 11 ounces. I put this in, I think, at like 1 to 3 ounces. So unless it's lighter, I'll put it in lighter. But what that does is it instantly pretty much makes it so the buyer pays shipping on the first item and then everything else is free. So pretty much every shipment I'm making an adjustment on of some sort, because once it hits that pound, I owe the other 4 something for it. So I do a ton of adjustments. For over 5 pounds, do you recommend to go with priority or ground? Hold on, let me get back up. He says I'm missing a question. How do I set up free shipping and get that banner to pop up at the top? That's in your settings. So when you're setting up your show, and there's the shipping section when you're setting your show up, that's where you can pick buyer pays all, reduce, or free shipping. And
But
that's what controls
if you're
the
a new
banner.
buyer, you might have that restricted until further notice.
Yeah, so Whatnot is restricted, reduced, and free shipping for new buyer or new sellers. Sorry. And I think it's a good thing. I know I love discounts. This is one of the things we debate on the show. They think it prohibits new people. I think it's a good thing because honestly, you should not be doing free or reduced until you do a handful of full price shipping shows and get a good idea what your numbers are. You shouldn't be offering discounts until you understand the value and that dollar impact to your bottom line of what that discount is. So for over 5 pounds, I recommend to go with priority or ground. Depends on what you sell. That totally depends on what your niche is and what you sell. So for me right now, when I do 450, I have it set that everything goes to priority. And then on the back end, I change it if it doesn't fit in a flat rate box. So I have everything going to flat rate. And then most of the time in vintage, it doesn't fit and I change it on the back end. But what that does is it stops me from being charged any more than $9.21. I'm never charged more than that until I adjust it on the back end. Does the seller receive their money back once shipping? No. Previously mentioned, what you're charged. Whatnot keeps it. This is why we have adjustments. So once the charge goes through, all that money goes into Whatnot's bucket. If we were to reduce the weight on something, it's not like Etsy and some of these other ones where you have like a shipping kind of fund over there that pulls that money from. Whatnot keeps it. Knowing this on the front end, one of the things Whatnot has done to kind of offset that is give you 5 adjustments. So they're like, we're going to charge you at the max of whatever those scales are. 8 to 11 ounces, they're charging an 11 ounce rate, right? But to offset it, I'm going to give you 5 free adjustments. So you're not getting any money back, but you get a little bit of leeway on the other side.
Mel and Stella cards. We've asked around to different community hosts, and there's no definite answer.
Yeah.
And Erica, if you're doing the free shipping, it depends on how you set it up, but you are paying the full shipping.
You're paying 100%. So Erica, when I do free shipping, and I have it set up, everything is at 1 ounce. So that basically, the minute somebody buys something, it charges $4 and something cents. It's like $4.38 or something like that. The minute somebody buys something, that hits my ledger. That I'm charged that. Then when I come back and I'm doing my shipping, if the weight is greater than that and I need to increase the weight and there's additional charges, I'm then also paying the additional charges. So you're paying 100% of their shipping cost. So before you go into free shipping, make sure one, it's either built into your prices or you're willing to absorb that. Now, let me tell you, the 6 months I did totally free shipping on Whatnot were the highest grossing 6 months I have ever had. The sales were up, the people in my room were up, the bids were up. Livy, you got that giveaway, congratulations. It will drive people to buy. I was doing free shipping at $1. You know what that does? Removes any barrier for the buyer. You could put something on the screen and you're like, $1 free shipping. There's no risk. There's no risk to the buyer there. They're like, $1? Yeah, heck yeah, I'll buy that. So everything sells, and you get a lot more people in your room buying stuff. On the flip side, I was paying 38% of my gross revenue to shipping cost. So $38 for every 100 I made went to pay for the shipping. I knew that going in, and I was ready to accept that. And you're like, oh my God, I can't pay 38 cents for every dollar plus what I paid for the item plus Whatnot fees. You can't look at each individual item. When I looked at that over the board and my orders were doubling, my bid prices were up 80%, it made sense. I was still making money. The only reason I am not doing it on vintage anymore is because I've introduced a new business line and I've changed my strategy while I'm introducing a new business line. Doesn't mean I'm not going back to it. It just means for right now, while I'm introducing a new business line and investing money into something else, I need to reallocate how my funds are going.
Yes, your room grows. It takes a little bit of time, but it does grow.
Millicent, the 1 ounce, well, 1 ounce for PWE, but for free shipping, I did 1 ounce for everything. I mean, if that's the question you have, I'm not sure if that's what you're asking or not. Let's see if I'm missing anything else. Just found you this morning while getting, well, welcome in, Livy. I hope you come back. Our Monday and Wednesdays are very just kind of chat, and I sell about 10 things. Friday is all business and tax. So if you are a seller, definitely don't miss Fridays. And then I do various selling shows throughout the week also. And speaking of that, we're about to go raid out. But you guys, I have a raid train tomorrow night. I do have everything preloaded for that because that was one of the requirements of the raid train. It is a Southwest, best of Southwest raid train. Please come check it out. I have it bookmarked. I have things preloaded. You can pre-bid. So if you like Southwest decor, don't just check me out, but there's a whole group of people doing a raid train tomorrow where you can stock up on some of that cool decor. And with that, you guys, I'm going to do one more plug. Hold on. I'll answer these questions and do one more plug. When you have, Bird Theory says, when you have it set to flat and change it after, does that use an adjustment? Only if there's a cost difference. Only if there's a cost difference. Because like if it's set to flat and it's like 8 pounds and you change it because it doesn't fit in the flat rate and I've got to go to ground, there may be an adjustment there. That depends on, the rates that are negotiated, where it's going, the box size. So there's a couple of variables. So that's a yes or no question. So it depends how those variables line up if there happens to be a cost difference or not. And your room grows. Yes, and your room grows with all that. Real quick before we go, I do want to tell you guys about the Ledger to Leadership coming on March 2nd. I'm going to be offering an accounting course for resellers. It is free on Whatnot. You can come every Monday starting March 2nd. It's a 12-week course for 1 hour on Monday nights. We may go over a little bit, but I'm aiming for an hour. And we're going to go through 12 different, we're calling them entries, where we're going to start with a basic accounting equation, and we're going to end that 12 weeks with you creating a set of financial statements for yourself and understanding how to read those and actually use those financials to make decisions for your business. So Ledger to Leadership. This Friday, I do have workbooks. They're not required, but if you're the type who likes them, and I will be showing you actually live the workbook on Friday. Those will be in the bin. So you guys, if you are a reseller and you're like, this accounting tax stuff, this is driving me crazy, and you just kind of want to wrap your head around it, this is going to be a great course for you to attend. It will also be on YouTube. So if you're like, I'm busy every Monday at 6:30, my kid has whatever, it'll be on YouTube too, so you can watch it. And with that, we're going to go raid. Everybody have a great week. And thank you for being here this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Can't even make a grocery list. You guys crack me up. Let's go see. You know what? We haven't seen Jody in forever. Let's go see East Coast Eclectic. She's another vintage dealer, and she is such a sweet lady.